Good evening, everyone, and a warm welcome to this special edition of our chat show series on quality in education and assessment. I'm Dr. Tripti Singh, your host and moderator for today's conversation, and I am absolutely delighted to have you all with us this evening. Before we begin, a quick and important announcement for all the attendees here that we are pleased to share that beginning with today's session, we are introducing a new practice of acknowledging your participation with a certificate. It is our way of appreciating your commitment to professional learning and meaningful dialogue. So we encourage you to stay with us throughout the session and be part of this enriching experience. Now, as educators and education leaders, we know that quality and assessment are the twin pillars upon which meaningful learning rests. And today, we are joined by a truly remarkable guest who has not only upheld these pillars with fineness, but has also set new benchmark in education. It is my immense pleasure to introduce Ms. Anuttama Pandit, a beacon of excellence in progressive schooling. And with over 22 years of dedicated service in the field of education since 2002, Ms. Anuttama Pandit has played pivotal role in academic leadership, quality assurance, and teacher development. And currently, she serves as the quality assurance and guidance head at the prestigious Ashoka group of schools under the Ashoka Education Foundation. And Ms. Pandit holds an MBA with a strong foundation in educational strategy, and she is a certified practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming and has earned a diploma for participating in the International Day of UN Peacemakers and reflecting her global mindset and commitment to peace education. A Cambridge-trained professional, she is serving as a Cambridge exam officer, upholding integrity in assessment, and currently leads as the program leader for the Cambridge International Certificate in Teaching with Digital Technologies, where she mentors her educators. Her areas of expertise include teacher training, strategic academic planning, psychometric career counseling, and school systems management. Her journey from classroom teacher to visionary academic leader is one marked by passion, purpose, and precision. Please join me in extending a warm virtual welcome to Ms. Anuttama Pandit.
Thank you, ma'am.
You're welcome, ma'am. And we are so excited to learn from you.
I'm extremely excited to be a part of this Cambridge Teachers of Tomorrow. It's a wonderful platform, and it's a platform where we can express our thoughts and ideas, and maybe we'll be able to reach to people with.
Yes, ma'am. So shall we begin?
Sure.
Yes. So what you have stored for our audience today?
So to begin with, I think we'll just start with a quick 30-second icebreaker. So
Sure.
I would request my colleague Avni to please share the screen. Avni, can we go to the next slide? Yes. So I quickly want all the participants to write in their chat box. Since today's topic is on quality education, I would request all of you to just write in the chat box in 30 seconds, what does quality education mean to you? What do you think quality education is? A quick 30-second exercise. Well, we're getting a lot of responses. And thank you everyone for your energetic participation. And I would like to extend quality education a little more. So can we go to the next slide, Abdi? Wonderful. I can see many of you have written innovative teaching, focus on holistic development, head-heart development, inclusive education, meaningful way of modern equipments. Wonderful. So thank you everyone for all these responses. And quality in education, it's a very complex and dynamic concept, as you all have mentioned it in your own ways. So, to integrate what you all have mentioned, I think it is something which is beyond achieving good grades or good scores. Definitely, it is a holistic approach, and it encompasses learning and development where students are at the center and the teachers and the leaders, they strive hard to, give in the best to the students. Also, it's about aiming to equip the learners with the right kind of skills, knowledge, and attitudes. Definitely, it is providing the learners with skills, values. Many of you are already writing about it. So yes, so in altogether, quality education is something which is an ongoing process, and every time I think the school strives really hard to work together and follow best practices so that ultimately the learners are benefited by all the efforts that we take in. Thank you very much, and I think this is what is the main topic for today, and I would like to add and share my thoughts on this.
Great, great. So, Ms. Anuttama, based on your rich experience in quality assurance and academic leadership, what are the core principles that form the foundation of quality education in a school setting? And specifically, which principles do you believe truly drive academic excellence and consistency across classrooms?
Right. So, when we talk about quality in education, I think quality assurance is something everybody might relate this term to corporates. Avni, we can go to the next slide. Everybody might relate this quality assurance term to corporates and industries, but I think quality assurance is something we have been doing across in the schools. Every school has a dedicated team where they work towards, they strive hard towards enhancing the quality of the teaching learning practices, the trainings of the teachers, and analyzing the data and measuring the impact of whatever they are giving to the teachers, and also some of the other way providing support. But what I would like to say here is that, I'm extremely happy to be a part of the organization where the visionaries have specially created this quality assurance cell, and there's a definite structure. So I think if we work with a framework and structure, all these objectives or the roles and responsibilities that a school plays to enhance the entire quality in education, I think it's going to be much beneficial. So when we talk about teaching and learning process, there are class observations where the school leaders and coordinators, they constantly monitor these, and they change the instructions, they discuss it with teachers. When we come to trainings, continual professional developments, this is a very crucial part of every organization where they talk about the needs of the teachers, and then they impart trainings to the teachers as per the needs and the requirements, so that the needs of the students is also fulfilled. There's large amount of documentation. Every school has teacher records, student records, and sometimes there is a big question of what to document and what not to document, and how to structurize this whole documentation process. So I think quality is also about maintaining a record of what is happening across the school with respect to teachers and with respect to students, and analyzing and measuring the impact. Say when we talk about teacher trainings, so it's not about how much teachers are how many trainings teachers are undergoing. What is the impact of these trainings in the classroom is something which we have to measure. And if there is a definite team who is dedicatedly working towards this, I think it will enhance the overall working of the school, and it will provide guidance and support to the academic as well as the admin team, because it's very important. Along with academics, it's also very important to empower your administrative team, so that we all are aligned with the vision and the goal of the school. So I'm fortunate enough that our visionaries have designed such a kind of structure, and this has helped our school to enhance the entire quality in the education. So these are all certain areas which the team can work on. I mean, the school has already been, every school works on these areas, but we can we can form a framework and structure, and we can work better. That is all about quality assurance. And talking more about impact, if we go to the next slide, I would say that it's very important at what time should be the right kind of intervention, at what and what is the, how is this intervention going to impact on the outcomes that we have decided. So this is a very simple slide, impact of what and impact on what. So say for example, when we talk about intervention of practice, it's going to impact the outcomes that we decide. And when we implement and act and when we measure these outcomes, there's definitely going to be some data that is going to come out and we get feedbacks on this. And then we again go to the intervention of practice, and then we again refine and review this whole thing, and then we do it again and again. So this helps in the continual process of improvement. A very simple example of impact of a new seating plan, what is the impact of a new seating plan? So it helps the learners develop concentration. When teacher notes that, okay, the learners are developing concentration, again, that is, she gets a feedback, and that is how the impact continues. So, this is a continual process. So another example I would like to quote here is continual professional development, the trainings that we give or impart to the teachers. What is the impact of these trainings? These trainings are going to affect, or they are going to enhance the teaching learning process. The feedback that the teacher gives us about, how has this training been? How did it help you in the classroom? When we get this feedback, then, we understand that, okay, that this is the need of the teacher, and then you can redesign your continual improvement, your continual professional development. And this is very important from the quality purview. It's very important that it helps in enhancing the quality in every aspect to whatever areas we just saw, and overall then bringing in quality in education. So measuring impact is very, very important and very crucial aspect, I think. So we can have less trainings, but we definitely, should be measuring how the impact is and on how it is affecting our outcomes. Also, I would like to add, going to the next slide, it's not very easy, when we think about changing things in the classroom. So with respect to AI and digital tools that are coming up now, and everybody is into it, so I think focusing on transformation is equally important. Say like when COVID came in, and overnight we had to change the classrooms, and we had to go online and design new classrooms. That was a challenging phase. But I think any change, when we try to make any kind of transformation or bring in a change, I think that there are going to be some ups and downs. AI and digital tools, I think they are not just additions, they are the transformative forces that will definitely help us in the robust and innovative school systems that we would like to design for our learners and for our teachers. Since I am working with systems, I think there are so many tools in AI which, if we use it in the right way, they are like a boon. If we use it for transformation of our systems and designing innovative strategies to enhance the teaching learning process, I think it's going to be something very amazing, which every school can work with it. And I have something very interesting to share with you about Gartner Hype Cycle. So as I shared with you that, anything where we want to change, there is a turbulence always. So, and gradually with time, this turbulence will fade away, and, we get comfortable with the new things that are coming up. So when COVID started and we changed our classrooms, there was a turbulence, but we managed to go with the change. And then, now we are so used to this online platform that we feel that this is a very comfortable platform. Similarly, whenever schools want to go in for a change, I think there are going to be turbulences, there are going to be roller coaster rides, there is going to be a steep climb. But I think once we get comfortable with this, finally things will get steady, and we will adapt to the new scenarios, and I think we all will be able to work well together with the new scenarios. I hope that I answered your
Yeah.
question well,
No,
Trupti.
no. Thank you so much, Ms. Anuttama, for laying that out so clearly. And the emphasis on clarity of purpose and consistency truly resonates. And it's a reminder that academic excellence isn't a one time achievement, but a culture that must be nurtured every single day. And a wonderful start to our conversation on quality, I would say that. And also, I would add up to one more thing that since you talked about some AI tools, which is going to really help them in quality assurance. So I would request you to please do share with our audience as well, of course, maybe towards the end of the session.
Yes,
And
definitely.
yes. And now this, in your view, what are the some practical and sustainable strategies that educators can adopt to integrate assessments seamlessly into daily instruction? And how we can ensure that assessments are not just endpoints, but tools that continuously guide learning and support every child's progress, and the feedback.
Sure. When we talk about assessments, I think we can go to the next slide, which I have just in short. I think assessments are tools for understanding, learning how much our learners have learned, and guiding instructions that goes for the teachers, how they can change their strategies in the classroom, and drive continuous improvement in education. So I think assessments should be planned with the aim to answer the questions about student learning, like how much students know and how much they have understood what has been done in the classroom. What skills have students gained and how they will be able to demonstrate these skills. And also, when we talk about the learning goals, how are students progressing towards the learning goals? Uh, so you have formatives, you have different types of assessments, of course, which every school has their own pattern and they work with these assessments. So it's very important that they understand that this question, are students progressing towards the learning goal? What we have decided, are we going in the same direction that what we have decided to achieve our learning outcomes? And whatever we are doing in the classroom, how effective are those methods, and how is the curriculum running? I think curriculum, uh, guiding instruction, and assessments, they absolutely go hand in hand. And we should be mindful when we are planning all these three areas, because these three are the most crucial and most important areas. And assessments are the reflections of our teaching learning process. So I just want to so it's not about just measuring learning. So I think it supports the entire learning process when it comes to what is being delivered in the classroom. So a well-designed assessment system, it's going to provide a lot of valuable insights, both for the students as well as for the teachers. So teachers can definitely go back to their strategies, what they have implemented in the classroom, when they get to know whether the students have achieved the learning outcomes, and then come back and redefine what they want to try out. And this is a trial, constantly, this is a consistent trial process. We have to, the classroom has to be dynamic. We have to have changing our strategies every now and then, because it's not like early times, that one methodology is used and that's followed for years together, because the learners also, they have different needs. So I think it's very important for teachers to be dynamic. When we are planning our assessment, most important is our objectives and outcomes. What are we? Where do we have to reach? And when we are planning our learning outcomes, it is very important that how are we going to outline our assessments? What different types of assessments are we going to use, to reach our milestone journey? And then evaluating the effectiveness of this assessment. I have taken a class test, but how effective it is with respect to the concept that is being delivered in the classroom. If it is a practical lesson and I'm taking a simple class test, so it's all about analyzing and coming back and redoing and doing it again and again. Similarly, when you are evaluating your assessment, it is very important, what are you going to do with the assessment data? So even a simple cycle test of 10 marks you take, and then what are you going to do with it? Do you just take these assessments for the sake of taking, or are you going to utilize this assessment data to enhance your instructional strategies in the classroom? And this utilization of data will definitely, or this data what we gather is definitely going to help us in decision making. Whether you want to go back and change your strategies, whether the learners are good to go, whether I give some advanced techniques to my learners, or I go back and do differentiated learning for the students who have not understood a particular concept. So it's all about that. And I think there are a few effective strategies which I would definitely like to share when it comes to planning of assessments. So if you can just go to the next slide. Yeah, before I share the strategies with you, it's very important that the synergy is taken care. When I talk about synergy, it's as I told you, it's very important that the assessments are in sync with what you are doing in the classroom. So formative assessments, when you're conducting formative assessments, everybody is doing formative and summatives, and they know that these assessments help in, they're taken during the classroom lessons, and they monitor the progression of the student. So when we are doing these assessments, so I'm not going into the details of what is formative and what is summative assessment of as and all those things, but I just want to mention here that formative assessments, it informs how your summative assessment design is going to be. And your summative assessment, the data that you get from your summative assessments, definitely it's going to inform you how you should change your instructional strategies in the classroom. And it is for the future formative practices. So it actually, this synergy has to be taken care of. And if we look at the continual improvement cycle, I think assessment, when you assess, you can gather the evidences of learning through these assessments, and then you can analyze what you have assessed. You can identify the strengths, the weaknesses, and the patterns of understanding of student learning. And then you can act accordingly. You can adjust the teaching strategies, curriculum, and the future assessments when you analyze this data. And once you act, you can refine, you can review, reflect on this, and then repeat and continuously keep monitoring. That is how I feel the improvement cycle works. And if we really honestly go with this as an educator, I think it's definitely going to transform our classrooms. And I just want to share some effective strategies, what I mentioned about. Whenever we are talking about assessments, I'll just quickly take you through these strategies. They are just mentioned in my next slide. So whenever we are designing assessments, to make these assessments effective, I think the assessments need to be reliable. So they should have a proper marking criteria and guidelines, and we should stick to these guidelines whenever we are marking these assessments. There should be transparency. The learners should be provided about how this assessment is going to be conducted, and the criteria should be known to the students. Manageability and timelines, it's very important that students are burdened with a lot of things. So how to monitor student workload and adjust the assessment requirements as per their need. So when you're planning a small class test and you have 2 class tests on a day, so it's going to be very difficult for the student to attempt these tests, because they have to prepare for these assessments, whatever you plan. So, you have to look at manageability and timeline. Flexibility, of course, it needs to be flexible. You should have multiple assessment formats to accommodate different kinds of learners, advanced as well as slow learners. Assessment should be fair. They should assessment tasks for potential biases or barriers should be really taken care of. They shouldn't be unbiased assessments, and children should celebrate assessments. What I feel is, it shouldn't be a burden for the students. And the last point is about validity. So aligning these assessment tasks with the intended learning outcomes is very, very important. Assessment needs to be valid. So I think if all these points are kept in mind and then the assessments are designed, definitely they are going to impact our teaching learning process and help the students and teachers both.
That was such a meaningful perspective, I would say. And I especially appreciate how you reframe that assessment as a learning companion rather than a final verdict. Definitely your suggestion make it clear that when assessment is done with intent, it becomes a powerful tool to evaluate both teaching and learning. And thank you for this practical insight, I would say. And now that you have already spoken about the assessment and the curriculum and these other strong pillars, now could you share some best practices the school can implement to ensure that elements are intentionally and effectively integrated? And how can schools set up systems that uphold this alignment as a quality benchmark?
Right. So, alignment is something which is very, very powerful, and it is a holistic approach. It's a very crucial connection between curriculum, instruction, and assessment. So we can't have curriculum framing in one direction and guided instructions going in another and assessments in some other direction. All these three need to be in sync. So it's very important that when we plan our learning goals, the instruction should align with what our learning goals are. And definitely when the guided instructions are happening in the classroom in a particular way, the assessment should definitely sync with this. So, that is how it will help us build a holistic approach. So I have, certain suggestions how we can make it more effective if we go to the next slide. Abdi, we can just go to the next slide and, we can have certain systems and implementing quality alignment in the school. So I have designed certain tools also, which I can share with you, and maybe you can pass on the link to all our participants. So one is develop clear and measurable learning outcomes. You have to gauge the pulse, the capacity of your teachers, capacity of our learners. Say, a new school, who is just beginning in year one cannot have high hopes of, taking up things which they can do in 5 years. So, you have to go with the pace and understand the pace of the team and the pace of the students. And that is how we have to develop clear, measurable learning outcomes. It's very important to backward plan your entire academic year, so that there is a lot of clarity to the team, and use variety of assessment methods, so that, the learning needs are met. We cater to different kinds of learners. And once this plan is ready, a holistic structure is ready, I think the academic year will definitely go smooth, and there'll be less of roller coaster rides and on-time firefighting that we generally do, with respect to syllabus completion and all that. So I think this will help us align our team in a better way. Of course, providing timely and specific feedback to the students as well as to the team of educators is very important. So teacher to student is equally important. How do you provide feedback? You're taking an assessment today, that is 9th of April, and you're giving suggestions or giving feedback to the student maybe after a month's time. I mean, that should not happen. Specific and timely feedback is very important. Similarly, the leaders also need to, give timely feedback to the teachers so that they improvise on their teaching learning strategies, and, it will help in quick action and mending up the gaps. And lastly, I would say regularly review and revise your curriculum planning and assessments, timely meetings, collaborative meetings. Together, the team of teachers can sit together and analyze a particular problem that they are facing. All these are very important. So I think I can just quickly share that link with you, and I can just show you. These are very simple tools that you can design. Avni, can we just show that link? and open the link so that the tools are visible to everybody. So I'll definitely pass on this tool to all the participants. So this is just a template for a general school operations review checklist. How can you review and enhance your quality? So these are simple means. The school premises are clean and well maintained. I'm just taking one example. So yes, partially it is partially done. No, if it is not applicable, you can put a not applicable. What are the evidences to show that the school premises are clean and well maintained? What kind of action is required if you don't find the school premises are well maintained? Or sometimes you can even have improvement actions if something is working really well. Avni, we can stick to the heading. Who is going to take this responsibility? Because at times it is very important that we all share the responsibility. We need to be accountable for the progress of our school. And of course, it should be time bound. So these are all smart practices. Yes, partially, and no can also be measured. You can put points here, and you can analyze at the end. Just go towards the end of this checklist. You can make this checklist a customized one. You can add in whatever you wish to from general school operations perspective. Avni, can you just go down, please? Towards the end, you can check the overall findings in the summary. You can present it to your entire team, or you can collaborate together and review these findings. What are the recommendations? What kind of follow-up actions need to be taken? So these are very simple tools from general school perspective. I have something for the teaching learning process as well. If you could go to the second sheet, Avni, can we just open the second sheet? And here we can see this is for teaching learning quality review checklist. This is a very simple checklist which we're doing on an everyday basis. Learning objectives are clearly stated and shared with students. Sometimes it happens that when we go for observing classes, the learning objectives are there in the plan, but they're not shared with the students. So if we are not aligning our students also to the outcomes that we have decided, then we are leaving on something. So I'm just taking one example. So you can just mark it here, and you can measure this. You can gather evidences from teachers. You can have regular monitoring of this. And towards the end, as we discussed again, can we just come to the end? So responsibility can be taken by the coordinator or the head teacher or the subject HOD, whomever you feel is, capable. Can we come to the last sheet? So you can, at the end of the sheet, you can summarize your findings and review your action plan. So overall findings and summary, what are the strengths observed when you're looking at the teaching learning process? What are the areas for improvement? What kind of recommendations do we have? And what kind of follow-up actions need to be taken? Similarly, if we review the student checklist, this is from student perspective. So I just thought of giving you an overall view. So the school has clear policy on student well-being and pastoral care. This is just one point. So counseling services are available to students is another point. So yes, partially present, no, not present, not applicable, collect the evidences, what action is required, who is going to take the responsibility, and what is the timeline of closing the action points. It's very important that our goals need to be smart, measurable, doable, and time bound. So these are very simple, but I hope these tools will be helpful to you in your day-to-day practices.
Thank you for those actionable reflection, I would say, Anuttama, and the idea of designing backward and fostering collaboration between curriculum, instruction, and assessment, and teaming up is so essential, which you mentioned. And it's evident that when alignment becomes systemic and schools can genuinely deliver on their promise of quality education. I'm sure of it. We are running short of time and due to paucity of time, but quickly I want to take this question with you. So one of the most challenging aspects of school quality is fostering a culture of authentic reflection amongst educators. So what are some concrete strategies to move beyond compliance-based reporting and build a culture where reflection, ownership, and accountability are genuinely embedded at every level of schooling?
So
Quickly, if you
I
could
would,
answer this.
yes, I'll be really very happy to answer this question. So I think we need not go outside. We can do everything within our school. So, professional learning communities we can build within our school. Teachers of different grades can collaborate together. They can reflect on the teaching learning practices. What went well in the classroom? How did students perform? Where did they find the gaps? So, some productive discussions in the staff room can definitely create amazing professional learning communities within the school. And I think it will be really good when these reflections are also recorded somewhere, and then we analyze these reflections. Similarly, as I said, data analysis and discussion, so we can chalk out these reflections. I think every school has a reflection column in the lesson plan or somewhere in the in the documentation where we can record these reflections, analyze the data, and then discuss it with the team, right from the teachers, leaders, educators to support staff, because every one of us need to be aligned with these goals that has been decided for the organization. Peer observation and feedback would be one very uh, I think it is a very effective strategy, I would say. Peer observation, it should be really unbiased if you want to really practice peer observation. It's not just going and entering the class and just seeing what is happening, but then what you're seeing should be actually recorded, reflected back, and the peer should also be open to take this feedback, that what went well, what were the areas of improvement that they found. So we can do this with experienced colleagues, we can do this with novice teachers as well. So, building a healthy and professional culture, and this feedback should be taken very, very positively only towards the improvement parameter and not taken negatively, or it's not a fault finding process. It's just growing together, learning together, and growing together. And I think leadership support is very important when, so there should be transparent and open discussions of what a leader thinks. It should sink down to the teachers, and what the teachers think, the leader should know it. So, we bridge that communication gap, and that is how, this will be really helpful, reflecting together. That will be very, very helpful. And lastly, only leaders cannot share the responsibility and be accountable for everything, and only teachers cannot be held responsible for whatever goes wrong. I think it's a teamwork of teachers, parents, and the leaders together to enhance the quality learning in school, enhance the quality and upgrade the school to the next level. I think if there is such kind of collaboration, I think it's definitely going to build a culture. And these are just very simple tips which I have mentioned, where we can build a culture of reflection and accountability. Nobody feels this as an extra burden. Everybody should be proactive and, taking up that, okay, this is my responsibility. If a student doesn't wish you, you wish the student. So it is just like that.
Correct. And that was a truly insightful response, I would say that. And we'll now open the floor to audience questions. We have many questions coming up, but due to paucity of time, I'll be taking some. So one question which came, that what are the different ways to measure the impact of teacher training? Which I thought that, yeah.
Yeah. Thank you for this question. There are different factors when we are aligning trainings for the teachers. One is what is the actual need of the training, and there are different tools to measure the impact actually. So maybe in one of the discussions we can share those tools with the schools, how we can measure the impact. But it's very important that need of the teacher, what is the requirement of the teacher, what does the school think about the this need, and what kind of professional development can be planned? Can it be customized? Because if there are, say, 400 teachers, we can't do customized trainings for all 400 separately. So, there needs to be a lot of alignment between the school leadership team and the teacher team. And then, we can decide on, maybe we can take one theme and then you can take it throughout the year and just go on bridging the gaps, whatever is the findings are there. We can go on monitoring and measuring every after every 2 months, say. So we can build on these tools, and impact is not going to happen within a month. I take a training and suddenly the impact is not going to happen. Impact is going to take time. It's a time-consuming process. So we have to give time for teachers to sink in what they have learned, and then measure the effectiveness and the impact of the trainings.
So there's one more question, quick question I will take. So the audience, one of the person asked that, could you share how assessment tools powered by AI can be leveraged to enhance experiential learning in today's classroom?
So there are a number of tools you can refer to, lots of free websites. You have Magic Schools, you have Gemini, you have Surasa. You have number of tools now coming in with respect to AI, and you can actually build your formatives, your class assessments with AI. So a simple, making of rubrics. It's an activity which seems to be very tedious, but it can be made very simple when you refer to AI tools. So there are many assessment tools available on the AI platform. And maybe we can share these tools, because every week there is something new coming up. And the more we explore, I think the more it's like a treasure hunt. So I think we can explore a lot on this and, build our own tools.
Correct. Yes. So while we may not be, as I said, that we may not be able to address every question live due to time constraint, but we invite you to continue the conversation with us on our professional learning forum, and that is Connected Teachers of Tomorrow, a vibrant space where all the educators like you, thought leaders, and the lifelong learners can come together to empower, collaborate, and grow. And please stay connected with us there, as your questions will receive thoughtful responses after the session also. And as we come to the close of this engaging and thought-provoking session, I would like to extend my heartfelt thanks to our distinguished guest, Ms. Anuttama Pandit, for generously sharing her time, insights, and expertise. And your clarity of thought and commitment to quality in education and assessment has truly inspired our audience today. And to our wonderful audience, I can just say a big thank you for your active participation and for your questions and your unwavering attention throughout the session, I would say. And your presence makes these conversations truly meaningful. And we are delighted to let you know that those who are attended the session, its entirety, will receive the presentation which you were asking. And of course, the recording also will be shared with you, and a certificate of participation on your registered email ID by Friday, 12th April.
Thank you, Ma'am Tripti, and thank you to the Cambridge team to invite me here. And thank you to the wonderful audience. Thank you very much.
Pleasure is all ours. Thank you.